Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the J22 Report. I'm your host, Johnnie Market. Y'all know that drill. Hit that like button and subscribe if you already haven't. And I just wanted to do a quick video today because, oh, wow, this is one of my shark things. Yesterday I wove a book and I couldn't see anything. So sometimes I like playing around. Anyway, I want to do a quick video just on the jobs report today. And it was very interesting stuff. You saw the jobs report came in much less than expected, 12,000 jobs created. But this was a anomaly in the jobs report in that the market ended up going up and gold went down. And that can easily be explained. Because if you look at the other data, the PMI, ISM, construction spending, that actually came better than expected. And the jobs reports, it came in better than expected. And the jobs reports, the markets dismissed this as an anomaly for two reasons. One thing that also happened is Boeing, they reached a settlement with their strike, and that was the one thing. The other thing they blamed was the hurricane. And that shows where sentiment is, that right now it's in probably sideways territory for gold. And you don't see too horribly, as I said, this is a uh, election year, and they are not going to allow the economy to look bad. And that's what happened. Now, I was wrong on the sense that I thought there was going to be a booming jobs report. I'm surprised that they did 12,000, but they did not allow this narrative wise to look at a bad, to be a bad number. They dismissed it as an anomaly. So I was wrong in a sense. This was not really a good jobs report, but it wasn't a narrative changing, especially with Boeing doing the settlement. And you can tell the ISM, the PMI, and all that data did affect the gold price, because the gold price, if you actually look at it, I went and checked it on my phone and I looked at the GLD. It didn't start selling off until around 10:10 or 10:09, 10:09 AM. Sort of want to see if I can get it on Kitco real quick with my phone, see if there's any way. Oh, I can't see it. So I was going to show, but if you look at it, I'm going to see if I can do a Chrome real quick and see if I can. I'm going to see if I can actually share the screen uh, real quick. I don't think I have the screen shared yet, but, and you can tell because I was like looking at this and I was like, what happened? And so I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And I have this right here on GLD. So do I have it? All right, it says I'm sharing my screen. So if you look at it right here, you look at it 9:45, 9:40, 9:50, and then you can see this is around 10 o'clock right here. If you actually look at it, 10 o'clock. I just want to make sure I'm sharing my screen. Look at it, 10 o'clock here. And then it just goes way down. And it goes from around the GLD around 10 o'clock was at 250, 254. And it went way down to 253 and down to 252. So it ended up selling off. So it was actually up. And, and if you actually look at, let's see if I can go to Kitco. Just see if I can go to gold. See, gold's down 790. And this is when all the other data came out. And that, added to the narrative that I'm gonna see if I can see. This is why I need a new computer. This old computer's just not good. So if you look at all that uh, better than expected data around 9:45 to 10 o'clock that came out, confirmed the market narrative that this is a one-off market. Now, I think if that data came in worse, the ISM, the construction spending, the PMI, all that data, that came in negative or worse than expected. It did come in negative, but if it came in worse than expected instead of better than expected, then I think gold would have gone up and it would have stayed up. So it went up, it initially opened high and then stayed down. So it looks like it's going to correct now. And it could, I wanted to get into, I was watching a very good fireside chat. It was Robert Prechter and Avi Gilbert. And I would love to learn Elliott Wave. I don't have the time. I work many jobs. Uh, well, I have a full-time job and then I've been moving a lot and I mean, over the past years, I've been moving in and out the different apartments, and I've been with a lot of uh, none of that. I don't really want to get too personal, but children on the way and everything. So I have just a lot on my plate, and I want I want to learn Elliott Wave because I do think it's interesting. I am big on the economic data because when I was a sales broker, bullion broker, I saw it and it's complete. It doesn't fail uh, at all. And you can tell 2019 to 2020 unemployment rate skyrocketed. Gold went up. 2015, 16, that's when gold bottomed. The economy didn't look so great. Jenny Yellen started slowing. And then this year, the economic data in the beginning of 2024, inflation started heating up. The economic data wasn't that great. And gold just kept going up, and everyone called for a correction. All they talked about, and the interesting thing is they were talking about the chartist, and all the chartists, when gold went up to 2,300, 24, and even 2,200, they were all calling for corrections, every single one of them. And 25 and 2,600, they were calling for corrections. None of them ever happened. It's at 2,700 now, gone up significantly. And some want to take a victory lap saying, I called a correction. Like 2 weeks, a correction. Especially if you work a full-time job. If you're working a full-time job, 2 weeks is like that. So, I mean, a lot of newsletter writers aren't in the real world. So when you call a correction, it has to be a couple of points. And so they were all wrong. Everyone that called a correction was wrong. It has to be a couple of months. It has to be, you have 4 to 6 months to get into it, not 1 to 2 weeks. Think of it, your normie office 9 to 5 guy and that has a wife and 2 kids and busy and they really can't get in until 9. They really don't stop work until 9. That's the they notice it. Then it's a correction. That's my standard. But yeah, so if you look at it, just the economic data when it comes to this price, the interesting thing I saw is that I also want to talk about this is Avi Gilbert and Jordan Royburn. These are two people I really respect. Now, Avi thinks there'll be one more upswing. Originally, his target was 2,700. We got there, and we're not correcting. So now we moved this target to 3,400, which I don't know what it is. I think 3,000 is a good add stop losses and uh, add stop losses and take some profits off the table. Especially have like loans you pay off and they'll do it. Not telling you what to do, is just my opinion. And he thinks it's going to go for another 12 to 18 months. And then there'll be a bear market in gold and everything else. I mean, this makes sense. This is why I don't dismiss it. It's not like the stock market's going to go up. Now that has happened, but the stock gold will go down to 1,000 or 1,200. Not sure the exact. He had 700 to 1,000, so it could go more. His last target was 700 to 1,000, so Could be only like 1600. I don't see it going past 1600. I think 1600 is incredibly strong resistance. I don't even know if I see it past 1900. My target was 2000. But I'm not setting my targets in stone. I'm not uh, that big of a trend guy, but I do see a bear market in gold because of all the deleveraging, in my opinion. But let's just say he's right, goes to 1,000 to 1,200. I think a big bull market will come after that solely because it forms a double bottom. That will be a double bottom. If you remember the bottom in 2015, that was just above 1,000. That was right between smack dab. And for about 3 to 4 years, it based from 1,000 to 1,300. So that would be a very big double bottom. Now, getting to Jordan, he talks about a cup and handle. Cup and handle. I wish I could draw it out. Anyway, cup and handle, and then it goes to 3,000. And he nailed it. And he thinks gold will be on the bull market for a while. So we'll see what happens. It's hard to argue because I don't see if we have a treasury bond bubble burst, then I I don't see how gold can't do. If the US dollar, if the treasury market fails, people are gonna buy gold. So I don't this is just human psychology. The countries from around the world. Now, the deflation that Avi talked about, like banks failing, everything, then everything will fail. And I do agree with that. I do see something like that happening, not in the next couple of years. I think Jordan might nail his recession with 2029 or 2028. It might be longer. So, but my target on gold is 3,000. But these are just things to think about. There's a lot of different things. And if you think I sound completely nuts talking about this, whatever, then just watch CNBC. Like, honestly, just watch CNBC. Like, uh, if the idea of any type of crash is crazy to you, then watch Fox Business or CNBC. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Uh, you don't have to believe it. I am prepared to open a couple of banks on the safer banking newsletter. There's a couple of safe banks, and I don't know how I'm going to, but one thing I might do is just buy some houses cash and keep them. Like my wife's from another country, and so there's political risk, or might buy houses somewhere cheap in the U.S. I don't and just buy them all cash, and I would own it completely. One thing Avi also said in this interview, which I thought was very interesting, that you might go short the market, and because it becomes so illiquid, you might not be able to cover your shorts, or it might take weeks, and you might not be able to, so you might not make nearly as much because you're not able to cover your short until the upswing. And so it might go up a lot, and it's so illiquid. And so this is why I'm not too big in the options myself. I'm not telling you what to do. A lot of people do really well with options, but I'm just afraid that you do a call option and you want to sell it. One day there might not be any buyers and there might be any sellers. Now that can happen with general stocks, but I just think it's probably more common with derivatives. That I believe the derivative market would blow up before actual common stock that you own, that you get dividends off. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the everything going on. Stay safe. It's one guy I follow, not really a finance guy, but stay safe, stay liquid, and Yeah. Oh, yeah. One other thing, the election's coming up. Vote Trump. I mean, crime, immigration. There's so many issues that non-economic that I think will make you personally safer, whatnot. And that's why I encourage. I'm not going to really talk politics after the election. Never really talked much until this week, but a lot of libertarians are like, I'm assuming that's my audience because it's a gold channel. I think you're nuts. They're free speech. Like I think X will be shut down or they'll force us to sell it. So it's going. There's a lot on the line. War. I think peace would happen. Uh, Trump's ego is too big to lose a war. He would not want to be. His ego would not allow him to get in a war that he would lose. Just like he wouldn't run against Obama in 2012 because his ego couldn't handle losing. So that's why he waited until 2016. Regardless of what people say, like that's why. So anyway, yeah, do not. If anything, his ego will not allow him to get into a war because he knows we'll lose. So peace, like there's a lot of things non-economic. I'm not going to go into scope. There's many channels that do that. I talk about the markets and finance and other things. And I would like to talk about other things personally too. Like I do think starting next decade, America is going to break up. Which states will be the safest or the best? I think the Midwest will be the place to be. Personally, would look to move there, and I think any freedom-loving person would look to move there. But anyway, that's all. My computer is really stretching my time, and it's already shut off. I tried doing a video twice for this one. It shut off completely. I have to get a new one. I hope you all have a good weekend, and that's all. I'll probably do a video Monday, and that's it. So have a good one. Remember, if you listened all the way through this, hit the like button and subscribe. All right, have a good one.